G'day Sitmarkians, how you going? Mrs. Ferrier has asked me to answer some questions on your behalf about cartooning. I'm in New York, so it kind of doesn't make sense for me to answer them. So I thought, you know, New York's home to the best and most famous cartoonists in the world, and me. So I figured, why not just ask them? And they can answer your questions. So let's see who I can find. Well, this first guy, his name is Tom Richmond, and he's famous as being the Mad movie parody guy who does all the movie parodies for Mad magazine for the last, 10 years. And he is literally the authority on caricatures. If you Google how to draw a caricature, he comes up first. He's the most famous caricaturist in the world right now. So I asked him, what is a caricature, and what's the difference between a portrait and a caricature?
Well, a caricature is different from a portrait because it captures something more than just the features of the person. You're really capturing their personality, their essence, things about them that just the physical features don't really capture. So you want to exaggerate the physical features, but you want to exaggerate what makes them unique, what makes them them. Personality, posture, expression, all those things play into it, and that's what makes a great caricature.
Alright, so to answer what is the most important thing about a cartoon, the caption or the drawing, I asked world famous and prolific cartoonist, New Yorker cartoonist, and the guy who quite literally wrote the book on cartooning, MORT GERBERG. If you Google MORT GERBERG, you'll find out that he quite literally wrote every book there is on how to be a cartoonist. And if you want to be a cartoonist, MORT GERBERG's books are the books to still read. So I asked him about the most important things about cartooning, about the importance of a caption, and how a caption interacts with a drawing to create the best cartoon.
The caption in a gag cartoon is probably equally important as the drawing, but it's not anything that can be separated. It's got to be organic. When I think of an idea for a cartoon, I'm usually thinking of the words or the concept first, but it also could be simultaneously in an image. And what I actually try to do when envisioning a cartoon is to make the picture as fully descriptive as possible, because I think the most perfect, if you can say perfect, cartoon is one that doesn't have a caption, because that's what a cartoon is. It's a kind of a funny picture, and it also has to be communicated in 6 seconds or less. That's the whole nature of a cartoon. So writing the caption is kind of like being an organic part of making a cake. It's just another ingredient, but you can't assign a particular percentage of it. If it works, it needs a caption. It's the kind of a joke that's maybe something that has a twist on the picture, but they have to work together. It's not anything that can be sort of separated, and that's what the best cartoon is. An organic mixture of words and pictures, and done at a certain timing also. I think the idea of an image is done in the composition of left to right. So you start at the left with some information, and you move through it to the right. And usually, the caption, when it's working, comes in after you've seen the picture, and you get an extra exclamation point that brings the whole thing together. It would be easier if I would show you some drawing, but you'll have to take that as the beginning.
Well, to talk about what makes a great cartoon, I asked the art director of Mad magazine and illustrator extraordinaire himself, Mr. Sam VIVIANO, about what makes a great cartoon, in his opinion.
Well, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but at Mad Magazine we believe that they have to work together. The pictures by themselves don't tell the story. The words by themselves don't tell the story. It can't be that the picture just illustrates the words or that the words are just a caption for the pictures. They have to work as an integrated whole.
Well, that's some of the greatest cartoonists in the entire world giving you advice on cartooning. So I hope that was helpful and not baffling. To fill in any gaps, basically, I learned to draw using pen and pencil, and I practiced every single day. Probably a little bit too much, if I'm honest. I probably should have been paying attention in class at St. Mark's instead of drawing so much, but it worked out okay. I now use something called a Wacom Cintiq, where I draw straight onto the screen like this, and I draw ginger megs every day, just like this. And but I still do lots of stuff by hand, and that's very important to learn how to draw by hand before you make the transition to digital. So all of you guys there, Drew, Ashlyn, Sienna, Zalika, Sunny, Molly, Sophie, Banjo, Kayla, Bailey, and Alexis, I hope that this particular tutorial on cartooning was even remotely helpful. If it wasn't, I'm very sorry. I'm on a big deadline, so I don't have a lot more time. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me or tweet me or Instagram me. I'm Jason_Chatfield on Twitter or Jason Chatfield on Instagram. I hope you guys found this helpful. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.